At 13 years old, a young man named Brent Chapman, who lived in Canada, was playing basketball in a tournament. He wasn't feeling well, so when he got home, he took 2 tablets of a very common medication for his discomfort. But instead of getting better, he developed a rare but extraordinarily dangerous illness called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. He spent 27 days in the intensive care unit. He became very ill. And what this does is it affects the skin. He had burn type of blisters all over his skin, all over his body, and on the surface of his eyes. I did a video about Stevens-Johnson syndrome, so I will link that below. Doctors fought to save his life, but when he finally woke from his coma and started to get better, what sadly they realized due to this condition is that his left eye was irreversibly damaged and he was blind because of an infection, and his right eye had very limited vision because of extensive corneal scarring. Over the next 20 years, Brent had many corneal transplants, he had many surgeries, and he expressed this great disappointment like this. Some of the procedures temporarily improved his vision, but none of them provided a lasting solution. And he stated, when I got my vision back, it would be this great rush, and then I'd lose it again, and it would be heartbreaking. So what happened is very interesting for the surgery that Brent was offered by a doctor named Greg Maloney in Vancouver, Canada. Dr. Maloney had previously done surgery of this type that he offered Brent in Australia with success. And this surgery stands for, it is called, I'll put it in the bottom, OOKP. Dr. Maloney offered him OOKP for a final and last-ditch surgical procedure that hopefully would work and he would get vision back, at least in one eye, because it's usually done in the eye that has the least damage for it to be successful. Brent thought that this sounded kind of like science fiction and bizarre, because what this surgery is a tooth from the patient is pulled. So they extract a tooth. There are many steps to this and a couple different procedures to this, or surgical procedures to this, to make it successful. And many specialists are involved in each patient's surgical procedure of this tooth in eye surgery. Once the tooth is extracted, it is then prepared carefully and a lens is placed in the tooth, and then this tooth is surgically implanted in the patient's eye. Over time, their vision becomes clearer if it is successful, and they have the ability to see, and that's exactly what happened for Brent Chapman. Brent stated that he was thrilled that he was able to walk without a cane, that he looked forward to reading again, that he was able to look at Dr. Maloney in the eye after 20 years of not being able to do these things. He also talked about that he got his life back again and he was able to travel and have joy and hope again with this surgical procedure, tooth and eye, that gave him his sight back. It's so interesting that the tooth is what was a remarkable medical procedure that allowed this person and many others to see again. But let's go back in history a little bit, because where in the world did this come from? OOKP was first developed by an Italian ophthalmologist, Dr. Benedetto Strempelli, in 1963 in Rome, Italy. Later, it was refined and improved, and the technique, which is the version that most surgeons use today, is the refined version by Dr. Falcinelli in Italy. But the first time it was used in Canada with Dr. Maloney on Brent was just recently, really in 2025. Let's go over some questions. Why don't more places offer this procedure for people who have corneal disease, who experience Stevens-Johnson syndrome, who need this in order to see? Well, it's not because it has a poor success rate. It's because it's incredibly complex. And the patient has to be the right candidate for this procedure. The surgery involves oral surgeons, ophthalmologists, anesthesiology, and corneal experts all coming together for this procedure. When I mentioned that it has to be the right candidate, that patient has to have severe corneal blindness, but a healthy retina and a healthy optic nerve. The patients also have to agree to continue with frequent ongoing monitoring with all of the specialists. And even though people, just like with any kind of big surgery, say a transplant of a liver, of kidneys, and other things, they're going to say, yes, of course, they want to do that. But sometimes it's really difficult to have frequent, continual follow up appointments and visits. It's hard to devote that kind of time and energy over the rest of your life or over many, many years. You're going to see the specialist again, and they're going to watch for things like glaucoma, retinal problems, tissue breakdown, and infection. All right, so the big question, why use a tooth? Well, at least it was a question I had, besides who thought of that. So let's move on to why use the tooth. Why is the tooth a successful thing to put in a person's eye when a lens has been placed in it for successful ability to have vision again? Why not titanium? Other people have asked. Well, because your own tooth is living tissue. It has blood vessels, bone, periodontal ligaments. Your body recognizes it as your own more than it would with titanium. Does insurance cover it? I was curious about that. And in Brent Chapman's case in Canada, the surgery is performed through the publicly funded healthcare system. In the United States, as we know, insurance, well, it probably requires pre-authorization. The person has to have exhausted everything else. There's probably an appeals process and a very lengthy back and forth appeals, letter writing process between the patient and the insurance company and the physicians and the insurance company to prove that this person needs this and that it would be successful. Question people have is, why not a corneal transplant? Well, they had, in Brent's case, and I'm sure many others tried that without success, because it isn't just the cornea, it's the entire front surface of the eye that was destroyed, in his case with Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So tooth and eye surgery is not a scientific experimental surgery, but some insurance companies here in America might argue that it is. But it has been proven over and over again that if the candidate is right, that patient is going to be a good candidate. They will accept that tooth in the eye with the lens and have a high probability that it will work for them. Then it is hope and it is vision for the patient. Well, thank you for joining me for OOKP talk about what tooth and eye surgery is all about and how medicine is fascinating. And this procedure gave hope back and vision back to many patients. My name is Lisa. I'm a registered nurse, and I like to do videos about interesting health topics, about procedures, cases, myths and facts about medicine. And I also talk about book reviews on books written by surgeons, nurses, and family members who have found hope and healing and how we can all learn from that. I hope to see you at the next health video. Please pass this along to somebody who might find it interesting.